Hello, welcome back. Just when you thought you wouldn't see me again till next Wednesday. Well, since this is a blended class for Management 218, um, half online and half in the classroom, majority is online. The homework, the exams, the short recording by the publisher to help you learn corporate financing. Again, I'm Dr. George Mochocki. What I'm going to show you today is normally if you would be taking me, most students who take a blended class here at Harper are taking this class because they still want that interaction similar to what you'd be doing in the workplace. You'd have a face-to-face component and a virtual office, for lack of better words, component. Others are taking this class to prepare themselves for taking myself or other instructors at Harper College or other universities on a fully online class. What best way? You do a lot of the work online, but if you have to ask the instructor how to utilize the software, how to go through the course management system, in this case Harper is utilizing Blackboard course management system. On this class, what I want to really stress right now, the homework assignments going forward, I would go into your Harper student portal, locate where you could download Microsoft Office 2016. I think that's what they're utilizing now. It's free to all students at Harper College. They have a version for the Mac, your Macintosh, or an IBM regular computer or laptop. Download that, put it on there. Since the homework assignments here for this book are either in Excel, the papers and everything else you'll be submitting to me will be in a Microsoft Word document. Your PowerPoints will be in a Microsoft PowerPoint document, PPTX or PPT, Microsoft Word. I have to see the extension of DOC, the older version, or DOCX. This is how I'll be able to grade the homework. Remember, you're taking a business course. I know some of you are from different disciplines. In business, Microsoft Office rules. So download that. Now, if you're using Google Docs or Google Slides, you'll have the ability to save as a Microsoft Word document or a Microsoft PowerPoint document. But you have to have the software on your computer. If you're utilizing this at, for lack of better words, at some of the labs at Harper College, you already have the software there, and it could assist you. If you do not know how to download that or find it through the student portal, when you log in, there's a help desk, an IT help desk. Either call them or send them a message, and they'll give you the procedures how to download this. Okay, let's go forward. So now we're in week 2. I want to explain what's required for week 2. This is an 16-week course condensed into 8 weeks, and the way you get the exposure, the same contact hours, 62% of your work is done offline. Okay, so to look at week 2 is basically week 4 in a regular traditional class. You're getting the same exposure, you're doing the same amount of work, only you're doing it in a more condensed version. So you're going to go into week 2. Now, most of you did week 1. Now, week 1, if you notice, this is my version. Week 1 is already turned off. You could always get to your homework by going to my finance lab, and I'll explain that a little bit later for the homework going forward. So we're going to go into it. I want to let you know how everything's going to work. So you're going to go into, this should be at least 20 minutes or less, hopefully. So this way I don't have to spend too much time in the classroom. You understand what you need. Remember, I'm giving you a flavor of what would happen in my fully online class. They never see me physically, but they always see me in a virtual environment. Okay, so I'm going to go to week 2. You're going to click on week 2. This link here, my finance link, is basically a link here. I try to do one-stop shopping for all my online classes and my blended classes. Okay, and I'll go into that later on. This Article 1 submission. There's 2 articles everyone has to present in front of the class. We showed that in our learning pyramid. Part of this class is that you will be doing some of the teaching. That's how you will learn this complex vocabulary to understand finance. Remember, the software makes you do the homework. And within the software, within the publisher's library, you go in there, you could get the Excel spreadsheets. You could do the videos that has short videos for each section that I'll be requiring you to do the homework. Look at them. They go step by step. You go backward, as I explained before. Math is something I could show you on the board. You won't remember it. Some will catch on. Majority of students, you need to sit and look what is going on. The author's recordings go step by the problems. The problems that you'll be doing, your homework problems, you have the ability to go in, start them, come back, go in, start them until the due date. Once the due date comes, your grades will be down, reduced by 1 point for every day or 2 points, whatever it is. You look at it, the grades, and look at what the due date is. As I indicated before, try not to do everything in one night. Do a little here, a little here. When you're in the mood, do a little here. That's the best way to learn. Because it's not like because you have to do some math, you have to do some calculations, you have to see what's going on. Okay? So, but you'll be submitting the article. How I want the article submitted is the way that Antonio, the first presenter of Team 1, submitted the article. Excellent submittal. He had a PowerPoint presentation that's up there, and he basically says, here's my PowerPoint, and here's what you should be covering. Remember, out of the each team member will select one of the chapters that's required for that week, and we'll discuss that, do a little quick overview, what he or she got out of the chapter reading, and find an article that basically will assist them to solidify this new learning and seeing how they're actually doing in a practical sense. What you'll find out, you could select any of the subs. So when I'm looking at this week, we're going to be covering chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this week, team 1 covered these chapter. Next week, which would be week 3, team 2 will be covering chapters 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, and 13. You could select between your team members. You talk to the team and say, hey, I want to do chapter 9, and I'll take care of that. So when you're doing chapter 9, you'll have a quick PowerPoint. You have to have a visual, not just lecturing. This is, look at this as a preparation. If your boss at work says, hey, I want you to talk about something here, blah, blah, blah. This article, I found this. How would you present it? Would you just go, here's an article, I don't have a clue what's going on, I have a few seconds, here it is? No. Remember, the articles are worth 40 points. Right now, everyone's going to go through one article, and then I'm going to tighten it up a little bit when we go to the second article. By that time, everyone has a flavor, a feel, how to do the research. Everyone has the opportunity to come up in front of the class and able to present. The second, okay, so remember, so you're going to see in your exam, Article 1. When I say Article 1, that means, I mean your first article. This first article for everyone in the class, all 20 students. Everyone has to do an article by your teams. We already discussed that. Right, so you'll do your article, and here's how you'll submit it. You'll click on this one. This is the submit homework. You'll click on that, and here's the points. You have to give me a short write-up, and that could be in your PowerPoint, or you could submit 2 things. You could submit, remember, there's unlimited. You could submit a Word document saying, here's what this article is about, and then give me the PowerPoint, or just give me the PowerPoint. In the PowerPoint, you could embed the link to the article, or you could scan it and submit it to me as a PDF file. Remember, this is fully online, but you're a blended class, so you're learning. So if you don't know how to complete a PDF file, I provided you a form for at least to submit the article with, but the written and the PowerPoint or the little presentation you're going to do in front of the class, remember, I'm looking at least for 5 minutes, for the first article around. The second article, when everyone finishes submits their first article presentation, the second article is going to go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and then you're going to, as students who are listening to the presenter, you'll be given feedback. And you'll write the feedbacks on a form, you'll submit it to me, I'll scan the feedbacks in, take your name off, but leave the names of the presenters. Similar that if you'll be presenting in front of a group or your team and you say, hey, you write a feedback, how do you think the presentation went? And that feedback is basically to help the presenter. Were you able to connect with your audience? Were you able to identify and present the points that you wanted? Remember, you don't have to do the whole chapter, you're just doing one subchapter. But what you'll find out, I want this chapter here on annuity. You find a lot of that. You may do another subchapter on hedging, and it'll be a little bit difficult. Remember, it's underneath the chapter. So you'll have to find an article to those. So in the direct way, everyone is learning how to research until you find that article for the subchapter that ties in, and then you submit it, and then you should be fine. Okay, so when you come in here, you browse my computer because you've already created your PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, and you're going to click on browse my computer. You're going to find out where let me see here, where my article is, my PowerPoint, and I'm just going to click on there, and then you notice it's on here. Now you could also browse my computer, right? And you're going to do your Word document that you're going to submit it. So I'm going to go back here. Must have something here in the Word doc. I'm just picking these up. You would have it for chapters 4 here, and my name. Put your name on there, not my name. All right. And so you're looking at chapter 4. Do I got some kind of write-up? Okay, here's a Word document. I can tell it's a Word document. And I attach that. So now when you're submitting it to me, you're submitting to me your PowerPoint, and you're submitting to me your Word document. That's how the homework comes in. This way, and then you just said submit. I usually can't submit. I don't think I could submit to myself, but I'll try it. I'm going to get an error message. Oops. Yeah, I don't think it allows me to submit because I'm an instructor. I can't submit my own homework. But what you're going to find out, so you're going to submit it. Now, if you want to make a comment, okay, submission is from a preview, not saved. Okay, all right. You see what I'm talking about? Because I can't submit it as an instructor. So we've got the submission. This area here is my comment. So you're going to say, Dr. George, here is my article. And it has spell check on there, so you'll be doing review. Oops. Review. I got it. I'm dyslexic. I always turn the I and the E around. Review. Enjoy. I can't see. Oh, geez, I'm not doing good on the spelling. I type 60 words a minute. Enjoy looking at it. I am ready to present. Okay? And then you submit it. This is just for the comment. Now, when you do write-up, are we all right? We good? Okay, now I'm going to cancel. Now, when you're in the classroom, try to have it on a flash drive so we can move this along. Sometimes the internet may not be working or the Wi-Fi. Have a flash drive just for your PowerPoints, and you click it on, and you do well. Okay? So that's your article, right? So some of you for week 1, like I said, the way I want it done is how Antonio did it. He had his presentation. He talked real quickly. This is what I am going to be talking about. Don't try to think from the memory. Your bullets, part of this is how to become a better presenter. Learning the data and presenting it to an audience. Remember? Okay? All right, so then I'll cancel out of this, so you'll be all right. That's where you submit it. Now, if for some reason you don't know how to submit the link or something else, the PowerPoint has to be submitted, the written has to be submitted, but your article, you took it out of a newspaper, you could utilize this article review form, and it's basically just a form. So I say, here's the article, and put your name. So if when I'm doing the grading, I say, where's the article? I've got your PowerPoint that's uploaded in here. I have your little write-up that's uploaded in here, and where's everything else at? And remember, you get some of your write-up within the PowerPoint. I'm only looking for 5-minute presentations. You could have a link to a video. Don't give so the link to the video maybe 3 minutes. I'm still looking for 5 minutes you explaining what the video means. That's through the PowerPoint. You go a little bit over, this is how we're going to learn. I will always make sure you'll get your 5 minutes. I'll have a timer. I will help you explain that. In areas where you're weak, I will reinforce the learning that you should at least pick up from this week's reading and doing the quizzes and the homework assignments. So far, so good? Okay, now, you have two things I want you to do. So, all right, this is where you submit it, and you'll come in here. And once you submit it, you'll see in Blackboard underneath your grades, you'll see a asterisk. That means it hasn't been graded, but it's been submitted. And then when we come to class Wednesday, like next Wednesday, it'll be Team 2. So who's on Team 2? I'm going to come into my, let's see, I've got groups here someplace, your groups and teams. When you come in, you will only be doing your own. So Team 2, you click on here. I'm going to Team 5. I got one person. It'll be me. Let me do it this way. So, because I've got this as a recording to protect the innocent. You're going to click on your team, the only team you're going to see, and there's George, you know what I mean? So you'll see other team members. Talk among yourself, and some of you did it last Wednesday, which chapters you're going to be doing. I do not want repetition on the chapters, so if I'm doing next week, we're covering chapters 8. Let's see, next week we're covering chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I don't want to see two people doing chapter 8 or doing. You have to split it, and then I will discuss. If there's not enough people to cover all the chapters there, I will do the lecture on that section to bring in the main point. Part of this is, as a learning community, you learn how to present it in an everyday language to other individuals. It improves your, so you just don't know you just don't understand the vocabulary. You're able to present the data to people in a professional manner and in a manner that individuals understand and relate it to an article related to the subject matter. A lot of students think the stuff I'm learning here is just theoretical. Nobody uses it. By finding the article, you say, man, there are a lot of companies that utilize it. One more thing on the article. If for some reason, when you're looking for your article review, if you can find an article to pertain to the company that you will be researching, that makes your life a little bit easier, because now you have another source. Because I'll always ask you, on Team 2, after you're finishing, what company are you researching? Let's say you're saying Sears or J.C. Penney's or whatever. And I'm going to say, could you apply this into your final presentation to help this organization? Remember, there's no final exam. You'll be doing a final paper as a team of collaborative learning. You will be doing a written paper on there and presenting it to the class. You'll do well. And this way you'll learn more. I want you to understand finance, know finance. Then the math and the other portions that you're doing in the software or on online in a virtual environment by the publisher. Now the two connect. The more senses you are involved, reading, looking, hearing, seeing on the PowerPoint, the higher probability goes from your short-term to your long-term memory. Like a computer, it goes out of my temporary memory and I save it in the file in the long-term. When I want to retrieve it, I'm basically looking, okay, it's Management 218, Dr. Mochocki, blah, 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 and it's on the file. And your mind is beginning to find it. Once it finds it, because I heard it, I listened to it, I read it, I utilized all my senses as much as I could, I basically was able to retain it in a longer term memory. Okay? And you'll do well remembering this when you take other classes. You may forget it, but it'll come back to you. All right, so we've got that. So we're finished here. Now let me get out of here. Okay? So I'm going to go back into my weekly assignments. Are we good? If you miss something, back, put me back. Re-listen to it again, and maybe you'll be a little bit clearer. Okay, so we're back in week 2. Week 1 is closed. So you've got the homework. you have another forum discussion. I put this identifying your product. It was in week 1. I transferred over here to get students to complete it. So remember, I already have 3 teams that already presented it. I have one that has Best Buy that's questionable. When I was talking to Antonio, I don't think they're doing that bad, but you mean you could give me an argument here. You say the stocks were at $20. I don't know. I'm just making this up. I haven't investigated. And now the stocks are taking a downward trend, and they're down to 15, and it hasn't been going up. That's a company that's already struggling. You think if it goes in this manner, it's going to go up. Not just a little blitz because something happened, because like Best Buy stocks went down a little bit when they had the hurricane issues, and they were overcharging for bottled water they're selling instead of giving away. It hurt their public image, and stockholders were going, what the heck? So remember, when you're looking and investigating companies that the stocks are going down, what is going on? It's going up like this, going down as a steady decline. Something's going on. Is it going into decline? And the reason the stocks is dropping because there's less customers aren't coming. Investors don't have a good feel for it, or the investors are upset with what Best Buy did, or when Wells Fargo opened up other accounts, it went down, or when Volkswagen had that emission control, or when Samsung had the little fire. All those stocks were good, and it dropped, and you say, okay, they screwed up. They made a mistake, and it took up the thing now, but you saw after a while it went back up. And you say, okay, but if you see a steady decline over the last couple of years, odds are something's going on with the company. It's not doing well. Those are the companies that you'll be investigating. Your paper is, how do I bring the stocks up? What do I do? You're being a chief financial officer. You're making assumptions going forward by making projections going forward, by looking what happened in the past, and then you say, okay, I can see where they messed up, and how do I bring this organization back as a team? And that's how your presentation. You're going to have 2 what they call alternatives, and we discussed that in class. Look at it again, and we'll go a little bit more. Okay. So that was last week. You're just going to put your company. Now, those who submitted, 1 team member would submit for each team. Your other team members, you got to respond to their submittal and say, hey, I think this is a good company, or think about this, or I've got stock in this company, I'll never go there, or I think the company did this. You help each other. This collaborative learning in business we call team working. You're on a team, even though you may not be doing this company because you selected another company, but while you're doing your research, either for the company you're looking at or for your article review, you run across the company that my fellow other team members are doing. I will send them a link. Hey, I heard this. Here's some information. That's how you help. Remember, in an organization, we are individual contributors, but we're also team contributors, and we also belong to the whole group, the organization. To be effective, you'll get your bonus and your thing for what you do, but you help other team members. So this way, they'll help you back. Don't always expect I get something back. That's not how you do networking. When I'm doing networking, I say, hey, I know someone. I was going for my graduate work and my doctorate work. I knew other people, what projects they were working. I was doing my own research, and I go, hey, Sally, I ran across this. It doesn't do me any good because it doesn't pertain to what I'm researching or what I am working on, but I know it'll help you. And I may not hear from Sally, and I do something like that for Jack or for whoever, Anna or whoever, or Antonio. And now what happens when he or she's doing it, they'll remember, oh yeah, he helped me out. I ran across, because they may not have nothing to give you, because they didn't run across anything. Don't feel, I gave you something, give me something back, I'm not going to do it. That's not how you network in business. That's not how you make those relationships. Okay? All right, so we've got that. Okay, so now you have this form here. This discussion is a CNN financial. This is a quick form. Remember, this is a blended class, so you're doing this is just on your research. Just do a couple responses. You're going to come in here again, and you're going to first of all, you have to take this I'll move it up here. Remember, I'm live in all my classes. Now, this is the financial link. You click on this. It may work through Blackboard. Depends what kind of filters or security systems or whatever you have on yours. But if it doesn't work, cut and paste this link. You're going to go in here. And what you basically are going to do is going to take a few seconds. You're going to put, you have to be over 25 years old. So if you're not 25, pretend you're 25 and give me your gross income. Look, I'm not looking at any of this. I don't really care. I just want to score. But I want you to go through the same processes to look at your own personal finances and see where you're going to do an improvement. So you're going to go through this. You're going to put your thing in, you're 25. You know, if you're 30, 40, whatever. It's almost like you're looking at, if you're not 25, say you're 20, 21, and you're not 20, put your annual income now, or project what you think your annual income will be when you're 25 after you finish taking this course at Harper or other classes. If you're 25 and over, put your age in there and put what your gross income. I don't look at that. I don't really care. So let's say I put my gross in. I do an average, you know, with some of my students. Maybe figure like 30,000. If you only got 20,000, that's fine. If you're full-time students, you don't have it. And what's it going to do? It's going to ask you a question. These are the same questions that usually they will ask a business when you're trying to get a loan from somebody else. How much is your, remember in the finance class, 3 statements that are important. My income statement is my W-2 form. My balance sheet basically is my expenses and everything else, and what I owe, my assets and my, which is considered equity, or my debt, right, is my loans or bonds, okay? So answer this, and what happens, you'll end up with a score. It'll come up here and say you got a B, you got a C. When you get the B or C, you're going to say, hey, I got a C on my financial, my own personal. It's a good learning experience. And you're going to say, okay, I got a C. What should I do to improve that C? First of all, do I agree with the score? You put the numbers in. This is telling you as a general template how I'm evaluating other companies. What's your value, similar to what you'll be doing? You're doing a project on an organization. How do I improve their numbers or the value of their stocks so people will buy? All right, so you're going to go through this exercise. You get a B or C. In the discussion, I got a C, I got a B. I was weak on, I had too much debt. I don't have any emergency savings. In business, that would be called retained earnings. I'm not diversified. Remember when we talked about what happened when you're looking at bonds last week when we were talking, what happened to Detroit? They were not diversified. Everything was at the auto industry. When that industry crashed or was reformulated to more of an efficient, smaller footprint, they lost that whole economic sector crash because all the auto industries left. It's similar to what I mentioned what Saudi Arabia is doing. A lot of oil. You only have so much of a natural resource. It's not renewable. And they realize after a while, we're making a lot of money, pumping, but eventually the well is going to be dry. They're already anticipating going in the future and trying to do other things to stimulate the economic growth in their base other than oil. Do I got investments? Do I got hotels? Do I got whatever? Do you see what I mean? So companies have to look in the future and change, just like you have to do. So you're looking at company stocks, how much is owned by, how many shareholders, how many bonds, life insurance and business. When we look at life insurance, you look at any kind of insurance is basically, we consider risk management. I have to have some kind of insurance. When you're going to do finance and you're going forward, you're going to hear about hedging. How do companies hedge? How do they protect their investments in the future? Remember, you're looking 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. That's a lot of things happen within 6 months. You have to also consider what's going on with current administration. You have, people say the interest rates are low. Will it be low by next year? Chairperson Yellen is up for a renewal, for lack of a better word. Will she be with this new administration, or will President Trump put in another, what do you call it, for the Federal Reserve, another chairperson, he or she, he's going to probably put in someone that the law, to change the whole dynamics. That's what he's doing. He's changing the dynamic. Not like business like usual. Whether you like President Trump or not, it's irrelevant. I'm a business person. He is our president. This is the administration. I have to be able to adjust with the new rules or less rules, better taxes. So I'm waiting to see how everything pans out. So remember, you have your own personal opinion about the administration, everything else. In business, here's who I have. Here's the administration. Most likely he would be more business friendly. So I love that. I may not agree with all his social issues from a personal perspective. I'm in business. I'm looking at how do I bring the organization up underneath the current rules or regulation, or what I anticipate the rules and the regulations are going to be forward. I also have to say, will interest rates go forward? Do I purchase now or I go forward? Okay, so we've got that. Remember, I'm doing this through a lecture. Okay, so you'll finish that, you get the score, and the only thing you do is in the discussion board, and we'll talk a little bit in the class. Okay, so we've got that. Now, for those of you who aren't certain which companies are going to go in, I got a little thing from, I think, 2017, and they're looking at companies, and these are companies that will soon diminish. So if you're not sure what kind of company, or you're questionable, these are the companies that are going. It's a quick, short YouTube, you know what I mean, and they're going to talk 1099. So they're looking at which companies. They're going to look at okay, this one. I mean, here's some of it, all right? And it gives you a good starting point. So just look at the thing, look at the company, Sprint, you know what I mean? So you're looking at the companies, which companies you think are going to have problems. Okay. Are we okay? And you can find out. Remember, when you're doing the research, I'm looking at it, the company's bottoming out. Do I buy? Do I sell? You're investors for this project. No final exam. How do I turn the company down? You're taking an assumption. I want you to feel what it's like to be a finance individual. I'm not going to go that high. You're a department head. You're a team leader. You have to look at your budget. How are you going to change the numbers on your budget? Oh, you got a poor, like when I was having with ComEd, I looked at my engineers to my sales. What kind of a relationship do I have? How many sales? And I could look at those numbers. I said, I got a lot of backlog. My salespeople doing a good job, but my production can't keep up with it. What should I say? Maybe I should bring in more production because customers are being upset. Or maybe I tell sales, hey, you're selling great, but you got to slow down a little because I don't have the capacity to meet your sales that you've done. I like that. A company has to adjust. If I got more sales and I can't support it, the name goes down. Customers are upset. So those are what you're doing for the project. You're going to learn how to research. Part of this whole thing, when you graduate from Harper College and I hire you, I know you know how to write. I know you know how to read. I know how you do research. I know you could present in front of people. You could take complex information and present it to individuals that may not understand it. Okay? So we're done that. Okay, so now let's go into my finance link. Okay? Now, most of you are doing pretty good. Some of you didn't do too well on the exams or the homework because you're trying to rush it through. That's fine. I understand that. I'm doing some adjustments on those. This is your first pass. I'm giving you a break. I may up your grade a little bit. If you got like a D, I may put you up to a C minus. You got an F. I'll put first time around. You're learning the software. There's a lot of information. You've got a learning curve, and that's what you have to do. Any business, I got a new product. You can't say, I don't get it. You have to learn. Part of this is how do I take something I don't know and learn on my own. That's how you learn the process. Okay, so you're going to come in here, and now I'm going to go in, remember, because I can't go in as a student, so I'm just going to go into, let's see, I'll go into my finance manager. And I'll go in from here, and you'll go in here. So if I'm looking at the homework assignments, I'm looking at all my homework. What you're going to find out, you're going to see all these, the due dates. I already, because this is all unassigned. What I've done, I've taken from the publisher's book 3 that I completed. I did all the, I select the questions I want you to look at this level. I'm not going to give you real hard. Most of the questions all the questions follow the book. So if you see the question and you're doing your homework, how do I do this? I don't understand. Look at the book. It mirrors it exactly, and you could go step by step, and you'll do pretty good on that. Remember, I'm live, so I got stuff popping up all the time. All right, so I could keep up on my reduce my email content. So you're going to go step by step, and you can do the homework. The homework, you have a due date. The homework for week 2, right? So week 2 we're doing. I got it right here. So week 2. What's to do now? You got chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It is due by Tuesday midnight. Because by then, hopefully you have it done by then. Because Wednesday we're starting the next class. So I'm going to go over. So I've got them all set up by Wednesday midnight. If for some reason midnight passes and you forgot, oh my goodness, I forgot. I have it set up that the homework, you could basically do it after the due date, but it starts taking points off every day you're late. Similar to in finance. I get my accounts receivable. I want the money now. You're late, you pay the late fee on that, just like you do on your, for lack of better words, on your Visa or MasterCard or anything else you have on there. Okay? We good? All right. So you're gonna see someone when if you in Blackboard, you're okay. When you're gonna go into my Biz Lab, you're gonna see past due. The past due, even though I unassigned it, I will in the next week or two assign it and give it a date. So none of them will be past due. Don't worry about that. Just worry what you have to do on week 2. So this week we have. Let's go on the assign. Remember, this is my view. You're gonna only see what's assigned. I just want you to see, because some students are in there and they'll see a past due. I didn't get a chance to do it. It's not there. It's okay. It's okay. Give me a week to adjust everything. Remember, I'm taking the new homework and I'm bringing chapter 4 into here. I'm still looking at the questions. In a couple of weeks, I'll have everything all done for you. For those who want to work ahead, hopefully I'll have them all populated. So even though week 3 is not due till or week 3 or 4 is down the road, you'll be able to do it ahead if you have some spare time, or you know you're going on vacation, or you have other homework assignment from another class, or your workload for that week is higher. You could work ahead. All right, so we're going to go in here in week 2, and I think I'm going to go in week 2 homework. Let me just go in here to see where I'm at. Week 2, I'm just going to show you what's changed. So I'm going to do editing. And that's just me going there. I'm not going to change anything. All right, so you're going to come in week 2. It's worth 10 points. This is my program. But here's the due date. This is at midnight. Some students informed me that they still had an hour before the homework's done. Try not to do it the last minute. It's like I'm trying to pay. You're rushing. Try to do it ahead of time. Rushing, not Russian. Sometimes I may not pronounce my words, English second language, but you're rushing. You're going too fast on that. So I changed it so it's now Central Time. It was Eastern before. All right, you have that. Remember, you take a penalty off late submission. You're able to do it. Okay. I save it and I'm okay. All right. What I wanted to do, let me just do here, edit. I'm going to do a preview. Am I in the right one? Let me see which one I want. Okay, I want to do chapter homework. Because what's going to happen, I just want to show this preview. Okay? So here's the questions. Let's see how many questions I have. It tells you can find a lot of it. You got the solution. You'd use the financial calculator. You've got this. What I wanted to show you, and I don't have it in here. Here, let me do it this way. I think it was in chapter, okay, select, I'll do edit. Excuse me. Choose it, next. Okay, I got this. For some reason, it's not letting me do anything with choosing the homework or review. Well, anyway, here's what's going to happen. You got a couple homework assignments. I'm not able to do this. I wonder why. maybe because I created it. Save. Let me just save and assign. Orientation. Blah blah blah. Okay. What's going to happen if you look at you're going to have something. Action. I'm stalling here. Let me just do a pause here. Let me just bring this back down here. I've got this one here, and I'll just pause. Okay, I figured out what happened. We have an overachiever. Excellent. I just upgraded all the week 2 homework, and somebody's already started on them. Okay, so that's why I couldn't do any changes. But let me show you. So I open up week 3. You're not due yet. It's not due till November 7th. So when I click on week 3, I just want to show you what happened, and I do the editing. Hopefully we didn't get to it yet. Okay, edit. What's different on this one, when you click on that homework assignment, you're going to have this one here, the Excel project. And you'll have this in week 2. It's just that somebody already started, so it doesn't allow me to change anything. So if I'm going to click on this Excel project, you're going to get this here. You have to download the Word material first. I click that on, and it says download. I download the problem. It's a Word document. Okay, I download it. I download the Excel spreadsheet. I download it. Okay, and then I've got the problem here. So you got the 3 downloads. Okay, this is just a zip file. If you want to save it to something else, and you close it. So before I do the homework, it says I open up this Word document. Hang on. You had that Microsoft Word. You go into your student portal at Harper. You find out Microsoft Office 2006, download it on your IBM laptop or at home or at your Mac. If it doesn't work, the download that is free to all students. You'll get PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, the current edition. You'll get the Excel worksheet, most current edition. You'll get access. You'll get the PowerPoint. So you'll have everything you need to do the homework assignments. It'll give you step-by-step instructions. You start here. Download, open the Word book. Tells you everything how to do it, right? Tells you what to do. Put the points in. Put enable. You're all right. Then once you've got that, hang on. Then you'll look at your spreadsheet. You open up your spreadsheet to get used to. You don't have to be an Excel expert. Then tells you how to utilize it. Part of this, and it tells you how to put the numbers in. Read that. Enable it. Okay, you'll do whatever work's required on it. You put the numbers in. It's all set up for you. Okay, just for that one problem, you can look in the back of your book. It's problem 8.6. Okay, I've got that. And then after you complete it in the spreadsheet, you save as. Boop, it tells you how to do that. You save it, and then you take that spreadsheet and you choose the file. So you find out wherever you had your spreadsheet. You click on it. And then you submit it, and then it'll do an automatic rating. How easy could you get? It's just to get you used to it. It's worth 6 points, and it's a homework assignment. Now remember, the homework assignment, you could stop it, come on back, anytime you want to do it, until the due date and when you submit it in. The exams, okay, now let's go back to the exams. The exams, I've provided you. Okay, so are we good on this one? Okay, so we close this. Do you want to close this site? Yes. Okay, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the assignments and how I set up your exams. You've got 2 tries for the exam. I've given you 180 minutes, more than enough time. Remember, Matt, you're learning. The time starts dwindling as we go forward. So how the exams are set up, and I'm going to go in here. I'm looking in mine, quizzes and tests. Their relationship. You've got exam 2. I don't think anyone started it yet. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to edit. So show you what I have for you. Right? You've got the exam 3, 4, and 5. I go next. He didn't start it. You've got the questions that you're going to be doing. Right? All right. I go next. You don't see this. You just see the exam. You're going through it. You have to 10:31. That's the Tuesday to midnight Central Time. You take points off again. You have two tries. But here's what I want you to see. Students have a save or later option. I'm giving you a break. You start the exam, and I'm doing this. I got to go to the bathroom. My kids are crying. I don't feel good. My head's spinning. Wherever you do, you stop it. You could come back. Your time will stop where it's at. The thing that happens in an exam, you will not able to see the other questions that you did. If you didn't stop it and go, you could go forward to the exam, you could go backward to review them. But since you decide to take a break, to think, get your mind together, you'll stop it there and it'll pick it up. But the questions you submitted are the ones going in. After you complete the exam, you could take it over again. I got a score of 70. I want to get an 80 or 90. It'll ask you, it'll pull from a pool of questions I did. It'll give you some other questions. Some of them will be similar. Some of them will be a little different. Sometimes they change the problem's the same, but they change the variables, so you have to redo it again. All right, and you try it again. You say the same option, and then you submit it, and you should be well. Okay. So remember, someone's already started it, so you're good, and then you go back. Okay, you want to leave the site. Good. So now the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm already like 40 minutes an hour. This is important because this is how you're gonna go forward. And now the last thing you want to do, you're gonna go into. I'm gonna go into here as a student mode. I'm entering as George Mochocki. Check your grades. When you check your grades, here's your article grades. Here's your thing. Always look at your total. This is what I got to be in my own class. Good. You may have a C. You may have a D. That's fine. Doesn't make a difference. You're just starting. You know how to improve it. Whenever you see this little icon that just says, hey, George, need to post something. Dr. George, me, because I didn't do the forum discussion. Okay? So it tells you something. I posted later. Here, your grade. Here's the grade I submitted. I only got a C, and because on the assignment I didn't do nothing. I came up there, I talked for a few minutes, and I didn't cover anything. I said, here's 2 minutes. Remember, I'm paying you 40 points. 40 points is $40 per hour. What the heck do you give me? You give me, hi, I'm George, give me $40. No way. The first team went through, you're learning. Do it how Antonio did, the first team member that came up. He had a little PowerPoint. Even though he submitted, now you'll submit it in Blackboard, and then he did everything. Yeah, and then he talked about the article. He's got his A. The other ones, I'm a little bit more generous. Team 2, you're going to be coming up doing teams 3 homework assignments. I want to see this professional. You have to at least give me 5 minutes. And remember, prepare. You can be a little bit over. Next time you do Article 2, you'll be basically required for 10 minutes and a little more substance because you'll learn how. So when you're ready to do your final presentation, there is in lieu of an exam, you already have the skill set of how to present. You'll be comfortable in front of the audience. You'll be comfortable, but you'll be doing this as a team. So each team member will present their portion that you agreed on, and you'll do well. Okay, that's my quick overview. I'm finished. Always check your grades, see where you're at. If you're down, you'll do it. Some of you, if you haven't done the work, remember the grades gets transferred from my biz lab. So if you're doing some of the work in advance and it hasn't showed up in here, it's just that I haven't transferred it over. Okay, so again, my name is Dr. So remember, you start off your weekly assignments real quickly. I'm in the student, so what I have, here's my link that gives me homework. Here's my article that I'll submit if I'm submitting it that week. Everyone doesn't do everyone does their first article. So right now, the only ones who are going to be submitting, and I just keep that open. If for some reason you have the article, I didn't have the week open, you're always going to find it where it says team paper article. You'll have this link. Will be the article will be in here. You know what I mean? I didn't put it in there. There'll be a link in here, and that's where it's going to be at. All right. So you will be able to do my team paper article, submit it in advance. I'm going to go weekly advance. Are you okay? You're going to just see this, and what I'll do is I'm going to move it real quickly. Article. Oh, I'm in a student mode. I can't do anything. But you'll see it in the other thing. All right, so I'm done for now. We'll explain it. You'll find it here. You'll find the link here instead of the whole article. You always have you could submit your articles through here or through the weekly once I create the link. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I'll see you on Wednesday. I covered another hour. Remember, this is how I would do on a fully online class. So look at the link, enjoy, and we are done. And I'm exactly at 48 minutes. I'm doing pretty good. I need an hour. All right. That's how that's the fully online class to help you.